Welcome to morning yoga. We have a playlist, morning sound yoga. So go ahead and pull it up and then I'll do my little countdown. Okay, ready? It's going to be three. Why does it think I'm in the car? I'm not in the car. 3, 2, 1, play. Make sure you don't have it on shuffle. And then we're going to go ahead and set up laying down on your back. If you want to use props under the knees, go ahead. And just come into your breathing. What does it feel like to be in Shavasana at the end of class? How can you invite in space for integration here at the beginning of class? Are you allowing your breath to come in and down? If you're able to, close the mouth so that the breath is coming in and out through the nose. And you're starting to let the earth receive the weight of your body. Breath gets to come in like a wave. And then you can also allow the release over to gravity to flow like a wave. That wave of surrender as you continue to choose to be here. Continue to choose to press pause on everything else. So nothing's happening by mistake. You are really here at the center of your experience. The low back is sensitive. You can always have the knees bent or more support under the knees. Option to stay where you are or go ahead and move your support rolled up blanket or blocks behind the heart space. Or if you have a pranayama cushion, you can use that. Just right under the shoulder blades so that the shoulders are coming up and over. And so there's this idea of connecting with your body and connecting with your breath. But what if you start to connect with that feeling of relaxation, the choice of surrender, the choice to be here, and allow that to guide you towards your breath? Choose to relax. What do you find? Because even when you know that your breath is the access point to parasympathetic response, towards healing, towards restoration, what does it feel like? And so even just with these next couple breaths, you're imprinting, being on the mat, being with yourself. Everything else can wait. When you're ready, inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your belly. Let the breath start the movement. And then inhale overhead as you let the breath come up into the chest. Exhale, hands back to the belly, resting place. Inhale, puff the belly. Finish off that breath, reaching up overhead. And then exhale, empty out. 2 more like that. Nothing to rush to keep up with. Your body, your pace. Sometimes it might even feel awkward to slow down. You'll prop yourself up onto the forearms to come off the support, or you can roll to your side. Move that out of the way. Come back to the spine. This time, plant the feet. It's like a half bridge prep in the lower body. Arms come up overhead, and this time draw a right knee in. Circle out the ankle. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, left knee in. Roll out the ankle. And just a couple more times like that, marching it out, arms overhead. Exhale. Where is your breath? Pause with the right knee in. Hands to the earth, kick that foot up towards the sky, and then single leg bicycle. Starting to find this freedom. The leg gets to move independently of the pelvis. Last one. Switch sides, plant that right foot, left foot kicks up. Single leg bicycle. Can you keep the length in the spine as you reach that foot up towards the sky? Pause with the left foot up and then have the right foot meet it. It's okay if the knees are bent, and then you'll flex one foot and point the other. Switch, switch. Moving the feet, moving the ankles. Keep your low back connected to the earth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees to the chest. Curl it in, forehead towards the knees. Tight like a ball here. And then inhale, arms up overhead. Circle the arms. Exhale. Inhale, arms overhead. Sweep the arms wide. 2 more. Yep, you got it. And then we'll continue, option to add on the legs. Up to you if you want to have the head involved, or you can leave your head on the earth. Two more. Start to rock and roll, get that massage on the spine. Find your momentum. We're going to come right back down to the earth, but go ahead and sit up and then roll down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick that right foot up. Take your figure 4. This time, right hand onto the right knee. And you're folding it in towards the center line and then opening it up. It's not going to usually doesn't feel much like a stretch. You're just changing the orientation of the bone, your femur bone in the hip joint, turning it in, opening it up. And you can use that hand against the knee as much as you'd like. If you want to create some resistance to activate the inner thigh, you can do that. Lots of energy into the left foot. Fold it in, open it up. It's like you're opening and closing a book here with that right leg. Yep. And then you'll pause with it open. This is your figure 4 shape. And now you add on those pelvic tilts. It does not have to be big, just rocking forward and back like a cat-cow action in the low back. And so the femur bone stays still in space and you're moving your pelvis. Last one. Back to the center, right foot to the sky, single leg bicycle again. You might feel a little more freedom in the leg here, warming things up. Beautiful. I like to see that slow, controlled movement with the leg descending to the earth. Okay, switch sides, right foot down, left foot up. Find that figure 4. Left hand onto the knee, just find length in the spine first. And then find the movement, knee comes in towards the center of the body, press it away. Long spine as you do this movement. Might feel easy, might feel like nothing, totally fine. And then can you feel that right foot, your standing foot? Another thing that tends to happen in this shape is that the left foot goes limp. Can you bring activity into that lower leg, left leg, the one that's moving, to help protect the knee, to help activate this chain of muscles that work together all the way up from the foot to the hip. 3 more. Pausing your figure 4, add on the pelvic tilt. If you're really letting the neck go, do you feel the rocking at the back of your head? So what if the intention right now is really pressing pause on everything else but this moment? Come back through the center, relax and release, kick that foot back up, single leg bicycle. Last one. Both knees in. And then can you find that Baddha Konasana here? Feet together, knees wide. Yep, perfect. Hands behind the head. And then just crunch it up. So bring the elbows towards the knees, but you can leave your legs just right where they are. Five, 4, 3, 2. Keep the legs up. And this time, let your head rest on the earth and bring your knees up towards the elbows. So you're lifting the low back away from the earth, crunching the pelvis up. Okay, 5 more. Please come in, find that rock and roll. Come all the way up to a seat. Extend the legs long, Dandasana. Arms reach up, Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Even if the knees are bent, there's still that activity in the thighs. Sit all the way up. And then let's just do a couple roll downs all the way up, all the way down. Finding that grace. And then inhale, exhale. Option to roll forward when you come all the way up. Inhale, find the long spine. Inhale. Find the long spine. Good. Sit tall, round forward. And then can you find the long spine sitting tall before you roll down? So curling at the tailbone. Good. To come all the way down. So you always think, where am I initiating the movement? Last one. All the way back up. This time, hug the right knee in. Draw the shoulders away from the ears here. Seated tree, open up the knee. So you'll open the knee and place your foot against the thigh. Yep, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, halfway or all the way. Grab the foot, or you can always use the strap here. If it's available, take your left hand next to the left hip, right hand across for a little bit of a twist here. Slowly unwind, roll all the way back up. Handstand on the sky, flip the palms up, and then hug that right knee in. Add on your twist. Twist towards the right, towards that bent leg. Shoulders draw down. Crown of the head towards the sky, like you're going to stamp the top of your head on the ceiling. And then activate that left leg again. Don't let it go to sleep. So the left kneecap can draw up, or almost like you're pressing that left foot into a gas pedal to help turn on the leg. Slowly unwind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs long. Inhale, reach it up. Paschimottanasana, fold forward. Inhale, sit tall, left knee in. Hug it towards the chest. Plug those shoulders down. Find the long spine. Stay here. 2 breaths. I'm getting a cramp. Oh gosh. Okay. Sorry. Okay. It was the seated tree next. Go ahead. Open up the leg. Open that left knee up. Yep. Plant the foot. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold forward. That was from my gym workout yesterday. Okay. Cramping, usually a good sign. New muscles are getting on board. Option to use the strap here. You let your heart lead the way. Beautiful. Find your stretch. Working that right hamstring. And then if it's available, option to add on a little bit of that twist. Left hand will come just right next to the, right hand next to the right hip. And then the left hand can come across, a little bit of a twist here. One more breath. Slowly unwind. Draw the knee back up, left knee up, hug it in, find your twist towards the left. Activate that right leg. Sit tall through the heart. You still have that length at the sides of the neck by plugging the shoulder blades in. What's happening with your right leg, standing leg? Last breath. Slowly unwind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs long. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Last one. Little arm variation. If you want it, you can cross one wrist over the other and grab opposite hands outside edges of the feet. And then if you took the cross of the hands, you can switch which wrist is on top. Inhale, sit up, take your time. Use your belly to support the spine. Strap out of the way if you had it. And let's come one more time, just back down to the earth. Get a block handy. And then take that block between the hands. Inhale, block comes up overhead and then pass it through the legs. So switching the block from between the hands to between the legs. And if you need to keep the legs at tabletop, totally fine. Otherwise, add on the toe taps. Keep your spine still as you move the limbs. So a couple more, warming things up here. Okay, option to take the block in front of the knees and rock and roll here. This time come to a seat and fold your legs, cross-leg position, Sukhasana, and fold forward. Inhale up, switch legs, cross-legged, fold forward. Sukhasana, easy seat. What do the kids, what do we used to call it? Crisscross applesauce. Okay, and then as you're ready, come up and over, downward dog. Another thing, I can't remember if I told you this trick. Sometimes if you're getting over a wrist injury, you can fold up the blanket and put the hands off the blanket. And then bring the hands wider than you normally would. Find that external rotation. And then walk it out. Bend one knee and then the other. Stretch out the Achilles. And you're really working the hands here. So the knuckles press down. Beautiful. Last one. Bring the hands back shoulder distance. And then we'll move through tabletop as we step the right foot forward. Warrior one. We're going to take those big sweeping windmill arms, open up the shoulder. Back leg super straight. Seal that back edge of the left foot down. 2 more. This time, hands reach up, and as you bring your hands to the earth, pop that back heel up so it's a crescent lunge, and find your easy twist. Roll up the top wrist. And then again, power up that back leg. Left quad is reaching the femur bone up towards the sky. 3, 2, 1, hands to the earth. We're going to transition to a side plank so you can come through tabletop. You can transition through tabletop to find your version of a side plank. And even if you're coming down onto the forearm here for the modified version, that's enough. I even have my hips on the earth and it's still work to lift the rib cage. Come back over high plank or forearm plank. Downward dog. Other side, option of drop the knees through tabletop, left foot steps. Warrior 1. Pick the belly up, draw your shoulders back, and then start with those windmill arms. Power with the back leg, sit into the front leg. 2 more. Hands reach up to your heart, to the earth. Pop that back heel up, find your easy twist. Roll out the top wrist. You can always use a block under the right hand. And you'll never know what it feels like until you try it. Super straight back leg, 3, 2, 1, hands to the earth. Come to your side plank. Option to move through that tabletop to get there. Draw the belly in. It's like you're lifting your heart up into the throat. Finding that lift, that length. Transition high plank or forearm plank. Good. Pause 2 breaths. Keep your arms, forearms down, but start to walk your hips up, downward dog. It's called dolphin. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. You're looking good. Shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no, and then find your child's pose. Grab the blocks. Place the blocks under the forearms here in your child's pose. So the hands, you need 2 blocks because one's going to go one under each. Yeah, and put them the long direction. Yep. And now, as you reach everything down, your forearms are resting on the blocks and your hands can just drip towards the earth here. Beautiful. Knees wide. Let the belly hang down. One more breath. Slowly blocks off to the side. You're going to press yourself towards the back of the mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana, back of the mat. Bend the knees a lot. Start to roll up through the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms up overhead. Hands at your sides, and then 2 times sweep the arms. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale to the heart. Lift the arches, turn on your legs. Last one. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, halfway lift. Chair pose. Drop your seat, lift your heart. Slowly just shift your weight side to side. So come onto the ball of the left foot and then ball of the right foot. So you're just testing the legs here, testing your balance. Side to side. And then as you come back through the center, you can either have legs hip distance. If you like to have a block between the legs, go ahead and grab it. Another option is to have the legs all the way together, arches touching, inner thighs touching. Hands to your heart, find a twist. Don't overdo it. Towards your right. Or you can hook the elbow. Back through the center, twist towards the left. We're sitting into that chair pose, warming up the legs. It's work, and you're strong enough. Back through the center. Slowly twist again. This time, can you spill your weight into that right foot and just come onto the ball of the left foot? Back through the center, unwind. Twist, last one. And then take your weight over to that left foot, ball of the right foot. Back through the center, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift. It's okay to have the knees bent. Exhale. Stand all the way up to Uttanasana mountain pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms come up. Hands to your heart. Spill your weight into that right foot. So left knee comes up. Reach it long in front of you. Arms reach up. You're coming into your warrior 3, so step into it. Pause. If you can, it's like a baby back bend, cobra pose in the upper spine. Heart forward, gaze forward, level out the hips. One last breath. Stamp it, chair pose. Inhale, stand tall, Tadasana mountain pose. Sit into a chair 2 times. Okay, bring the right knee up, but we're going to kick it towards standing split. So hands to the earth, kick that leg up. And then pulse it up. 5, 4, 3, you're in your standing split. 2, 1, Shiva squat. Tap that right knee behind the left as you bend both legs. Inhale, reach it up. Yep, exhale, bend everything. Cross the leg behind. Inhale up, last one. Inhale up. Now stick that foot towards the back of the mat. It's your runner's lunge. Pause. Option to grab the blocks. And then slowly start to straighten the front leg and then bend it. That pyramid variation. Inhale, hips draw back. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, pause, pyramid. Step the right foot forward, chair pose. Forward fold, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step the feet back. Make your way towards the back of the mat. You can hang out in that downward dog on your way to get there. Halfway lift, reset the spine. Uttanasana, back of the mat. Roll all the way up to standing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms float up overhead. Spill your weight into the right foot. Oh wait, other side. Left foot, so the right knee comes up. Extend it long, reach the arms high. Step it into that warrior 3. Trust yourself. Hands can be at the hips, heart, out like airplane arms, Degasana, or reach the hands back. Most challenging, in my opinion, is the arms reaching all the way forward. Air pose, stamp the left next to the right. Stand tall, Tadasana, and then 2 more times, sit into it. Exhale, hips low. Inhale, stand tall, and then you're going to come back up, left knee towards the sky, and then standing split, hands to the earth, kick it up and back. Pulse it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shiva squat, bend everything. Tap that knee behind the right. Kick it up. Bend everything. Inhale. Exhale. Kick it up, and then stick that foot towards the back of the mat. It's that runner's lunge. Grab your blocks. Inhale, start to straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend. Draw the hips back. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Pause. Step the left foot forward, chair pose. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, sit into it. Inhale, stand tall. Sit into it. Last one. Pause. How low can you get here? Hands to the earth, halfway lift. This time you're going to step the right foot back, and you're finding a triangle pose. Or sorry, warrior 2. Step the right foot back, spin that foot down. So you're going to have to get really wide here, and then come up. Yep. As you straighten the front leg, hands to your heart. Exhale, sit into it, open things up. Inhale, draw everything to center. Exhale, press. 2 more. Exhale. Pause, side angle. Reach that front arm forward till you can't reach anymore, and then place the elbow on the knee, top arm towards the sky, or you can rest it on your hip. Start to turn your sternum forward. Option to reach the top arm up overhead, grazing the ear. Can you scoop your hips under you? Option to take half bind with the top arm. Bottom arm reaches diagonal. That's going to power up the center of the core a little bit more. Slowly come out of it, warrior 2. And now straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Option to take the stance a little shorter, add on your block, Uttanasana. I like to even stack the blocks. Last breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. You come into your goddess. Both legs turn out. And then warrior two to the other direction. Take your blocks with you. Pause. Inhale, hands to your heart. Exhale, press it out. Inhale, power up that front leg. Two more. Pausing your warrior two. Reaching your side angle. So front arm reaches forward, take your torso with you. When you can't reach anymore, place your elbow to the knee. Hand can rest on the hip towards the sky or reach forward, grazing past the ear. Keep that spine as long as you can. And then scoop the hips under you. So you're really working that external rotation of the front leg in the hip. Option to add on if you want that half bind, and then the bottom arm comes diagonal. Powering up the core. One more breath. Come back up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, triangle pose, Trikonasana, option to shorten the stance if you need to. And as you reach forward, shift the hips back, and then add on those blocks if you want them. You just always want the blocks stacked right underneath the shoulder, so we're not bringing the arm out to in front of us or behind us, just right under the shoulder, stacking everything. And if the spine is long, can you draw the belly button? Draw front body back. It's even going to help keep the ribs from splaying out. Slowly come up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Move everything parallel, Paschimottanasana. Inhale, arms can come wide to a T. And then take that little fist pack up behind you, lift your heart. And then fold. Hands to the earth. Option to rock side to side. So now you're getting a deeper hamstring stretch. Bring the feet very wide. Wider. Yeah, there you go. If your legs are very wide and the top of the head touches the block or the earth, go ahead. If you have the blocks nearby, go ahead and grab them. Bring the torso halfway up, and you're twisting towards the top of the mat with the left leg leading. It's that pyramid variation. Back heel can come up. Pause here, or take your hands outside the left leg. Now take your hands towards the right. You're going all the way to the other side. Spin everything. Right leg leads, facing the back of the mat. Option to take hands outside that right leg for the IT band stretch. Draw that outer right hip back. You're going to stay here so you're facing the back of the mat. Hands to the earth, child's pose or downward dog. Usually turn around and face you so that you can see me, but I'm going to stay where I am so I don't get mixed around too much. Okay, left foot is going to step forward, lizard. Option to drop through tabletop to get there, and you can even use the blocks for a little bit more space away from the earth as you drop that left foot forward. Bring it wide so you get to find the external rotation and find your hip circles here. If you're comfortable to have your hands on the earth, just go ahead and do that. Other direction. Pause, let the hips just fall forward. If you want to come onto the forearms, you could do that. You can even come onto the blocks on your forearms if you want to get lower, but it's not available to come all the way to the earth. And if you have the external rotation in the hip and your body will let you come to the outside edge of the foot, you can add that in. Never at the expense of your knee. Yep, pause. And if you want it, walk up slightly, grab the foot for the quad stretch. Left arm reaches back. And if you can't grab the foot, but you want to open things up, just reach that left arm back. If it's too much for the wrist, just keep one forearm on the blocks. If you have the blocks right next to each other, they can create that wide base. You got it. Last breath. Release the foot. Start to walk the back foot up. Blocks off to the side for now. Bring the left foot parallel. Come through your runner's lunge. And you're moving through goddess, so hands towards the right as you come to the other side. Drop the left knee down. Grab the blocks if you want to use them again. Sorry, I didn't tell you to take them with you. Walk that right foot out, lizard. So you're externally rotating. And then find the hip circles. Can you feel the long spine here? Other direction. Now let yourself sink into it. Hips fall forward. So I like to take the blocks next to each other, or like so, and then place the forearms. If you have the flexibility to put your forearms on the earth, go ahead. But it's that wide base so that you're not having to bring the elbows all the way together in front of the torso. You're keeping an open chest as you take the stretch. Waiting for the body to open. And if you want, adding on, right arm reaches back towards the back of the room or grab the foot. Release the foot. Hands come in front of you. Start to walk the back leg up slightly. Back foot comes up. So the hips are coming up, and then start to walk the right foot parallel. Tuck those back toes. Take your blocks with you this time. And then spin back around towards the back of the mat. So you're moving through that prasarita all the way back. Runner's lunge. And then here we go again. Take the blocks with you all the way over to the right. We're coming to a side lunge this time, skandasana. You can either use the blocks or place them at the top of the mat if you don't need them. Transition side lunge over to the left. You can stay up high like so, or get down close to the earth. Find that inner thigh stretch. And if you tend to hyperextend in the knees, find that micro bend. Shifting with your breath. Up and over. And again. Last one. And then as you pivot towards the top of the mat, find pyramid with the right leg leading. So take the feet towards the outside edges of the mat so that you're off the balance beam. Just a quick visit in pyramid on this side. Sit into it, runner's lunge. Hands to the earth. If you want a three-legged dog, go ahead. Otherwise, downward dog. Other side, three-legged dog, left leg up and back. Flush out the front of the hip flexor. And then we're coming back towards the back of the mat like we did earlier. Paschimottanasana forward. Uttanasana. Forward fold back of the mat. Slowly roll all the way to standing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms overhead 2 times. Inhale. Exhale. Last standing posture. Inhale up. Exhale. This time, spill your weight into that right foot. Actually, no, let's spill weight into the left foot. Right knee comes up just like we did earlier, and you're taking a standing figure 4. So you fold that right leg up and over, sit into it. If you need to use a chair, table, wall for balance, go ahead. You can flex that right foot, find your balance, arms can reach up. Or you can use that personal assist at the leg or hands at the hips. Pause here, or you can take the arm balance, hands to the earth. You'll know if that's a part of your practice. As you stand tall, draw the knee in and up. Extend that leg long, step it forward, warrior 3. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, stand tall, Tadasana. Chair pose again. Option to hook the thumbs, reach it up and back, extended mountain. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Bend the knees, roll all the way to standing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms come up overhead. Spill your weight into the right foot this time. Other side. Reach that leg up. Knee draws up, and then find your figure 4. Standing figure 4. So you're working the hip opener and you're getting your balance, anti-aging at the same time. Pick the belly up. Sit the seat back. You got it. And then what happened with the left foot? Did it go to sleep? Can you knit the front body in with the heart? Sit into it. 2 more breaths. If you want the arm balance, you know what to do. As you stand tall, draw the left knee in and up. Extend it long, warrior 3. Step onto that foot. Chair pose. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, sit into it, chair. Hook the thumbs, reach up and back. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Bring the feet wide, Malasana squat. So your feet are as wide as the mat, toes are off the mat, and then you're sitting into your squat. Option to take a block underneath. If you like to rock side to side, add that in. If you want a crow pose, go ahead and balance on the hands. Wherever you are, can you lift the belly in and up? If you're in your crow, option to hop back, jump back. And then we're going to transition on to the seat for boat pose, Navasana. Pause. Okay, I'm going to give a couple options here. You're coming through downward dog. We're going to take half pigeon, or you can just come forward and swing one leg back to come into your pigeon. But if you like a downward dog, go ahead and take another one. Start with the hips up pretty high and then use the back foot walking back to come into it. Take a support under the hip that's not touching the earth. So you really want to make contact here because that's sending signals to your nervous system to let your brain know where your body is in space. Permission to let go, surrender. Otherwise, the body's going to hold on to protect the joint. And as you arrive and relax, you might find there's more space to get closer to the earth, and you can start to walk the block back or take it out completely. If you want, fold towards the earth. You slowly walk your torso away from the earth. Option to take a three-legged dog or downward dog, or if you're skipping that, just swing the back leg around. Switching sides. Let the hips come up high. Find that space. You can even come up onto the knuckles. And already here, you're leveling out the pelvis. Coming into your version, a block under the left hip. Pause. Wait for it. It's okay if it feels tight. Let your breath come into the body. And then start to assess, is there a little more space, or can you just stay right where you are? Sometimes doing less is a bigger challenge. Sometimes you don't know unless you try. But always listen to the body. What does your body want? If you want the downward dog, start to walk the torso up, find that length, or you're swinging the back leg around and we're taking a supported half bridge. You find, I want those feet parallel and hip distance. Yep, because that's going to help activate the inner thigh. Take your bridge, then place the block, and let your breath be a part of the shape here. Option to kick one foot towards the sky and the other. Or maybe both. Go ahead and revisit your bridge pose. So come up off the block, press down into the feet. It's as if there's something very heavy on your thighs and you're using the glutes to lift the hips up. Pause here, 3 more breaths. Slowly roll down. Find your favorite low back release. Knees can come in, or happy baby. Option to come into your regular Shavasana, or I'll give two options. Coming back to having support under the heart like we started class, or take your two blocks, feet together, knees wide, a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. If you want to keep the knees bent, go ahead and try taking the feet wide, or you're taking Supta Baddha Konasana with blocks under the legs. So the legs aren't just hanging out in space. Oops. You find that support to let the femur bone get heavy, dropping down into the joint rather than pulling it away. Yeah, and if you don't have blocks, you can always take a pillow under both legs or a bolster. If you're in the Supta Baddha Konasana, option to take opposite elbows with the arms up overhead if your arms easily rest on the earth. As you surrender the weight of your body onto the blocks, there's nothing left to align or anticipate. Slowly use your hands to draw the knees back together. Pause. And then you'll roll onto your side before coming up. We'll take hands, Anjali Mudra, with the thumbs resting at the forehead center. Good. How can you give yourself credit for everything you've done in the last hour? How can you let that be the stepping stone for everything that's coming next in the day? So stepping into the flow of your life from this place onward, calling in whatever mantras, intentions, desires that you have, really allowing those to lead you rather than letting yourself be caught up by the soupy mess, external drama, other people's fears, really tuning back in. Where are you full of light? Where are you led by your heart, your own creativity, imagination? Thank you. So great to have you. Goodbye to everybody on the replay.